Welcome to the Pathway to Healing. We are going to be doing protection candles. Okay? So, as you see, I've got my counter covered with paper. I usually cover with newspaper. That way, if there's any spills or any type of drips, you don't have to worry about trying to scrape the candle wax off. You just roll up the paper, toss it in the trash. Easy peasy. Okay? I've already set my wicks. Alright, so I usually set my wicks a day before, let them sit overnight to make sure that they're stuck and they're in good place so that once the hot wax hits them, they don't move, alright, or jiggle out of place, alright, so that they're nice and set, okay? We are going to be using some rosemary in these protection candles. Alright, so my pot is hot. I'm going to go ahead and add my wax. I like to preheat my pot. That way my wax starts to melt right away. I'm only going to be doing about a dozen protection candles. Okay? Now, essential oils that you can add to this. If you want all of your candles to have the same scent, the same oil, then you can add your essential oil directly to your whole pot here. Alright? However, if you want your candles to have a different scent, you don't want them all to smell the same way, then what you'll do is you'll add your oil to the smaller pourer, okay? And that way you can add your different scents as you go along. In my case, I'm going to be using some cedar oil, and I'm also going to be using some frankincense and myrrh. I'm going to be mixing those together, all right, to make my protection candles, okay? And since I'm doing 12, I'm probably going to need all of this wax today. All right. I don't even think I have enough for 12. I'd only be making 6. All right. We're going to let that go ahead and melt. Alright, so while my oil is heating up, I use that time to prepare my rose petals because I'm going to top this off with some fresh rose petals and rosemary. Alright, so go ahead and pull those petals off because we're going to be using those petals. Alright, and you can just set those aside. And the same with the rosemary. Alright, you're just going to remove these from the stem. So that you'll be able to drop them into the wax. And you notice I got my garden gloves on if you don't want the rosemary all over your fingers all day. You can throw on some garden gloves to pull these off. I got a rosemary bush in the backyard that's been growing very good, I'm proud to say. Rosemary and the sage are both growing good. Actually, and the basil. The basil has gone crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm loving it. It's time to, the strawberries are starting to start back up. I saw some green bushels coming through, so garden starting to do its thing for the fall, which is fun. All right, now I've been doing this for a minute, so I pretty much know when my wax is hot enough. However, when you first start out, you probably want to use a thermostat, all right, so that you can check the temperature of your wax and make sure that it's hot enough, because you want this wax to be at least a good 200, 250 degrees before you add your essential oils to it, all right, just to make sure that you have a good blend. And then once you add your essential oil, you're going to mix consistently for 2 minutes. Consistently for 2 minutes. Alright, so I usually set my timer for that to make sure I don't miss my 2 minutes, or use a clock or a stopwatch just to make sure that I am stirring for a full 2 minutes. Alright, so I have my rosemary all ready to go, my rose petals all ready to go. Alright, we're going to give our wax a stir. Alright, and we're going to add our essential oils now, because I know that this is hot enough. I've had it on. Some nice drops. Okay, cedar. Frankincense and myrrh. Alright, now we're going to start our 2-minute stir. Again, you can use a stop timer. You can count it off to 120 seconds in your head, however you want to do it. Okay, 1 minute. Hold the heat. Alright, and you're basically going to use your pitcher here so that you can pour. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is basically dispensing the hot oil into my pouring pitcher. Alright, so now that the hot oil is in my pouring pitcher, I'm going to pour. into my candle. And remember, you're going to be topping that off, so you don't want to go to the tip top. You want to leave room for whatever you're planning to be adding. All right, see there? Nice clean pour. All right, and we're going to do that again. Awesome. All right, and you're going to continue with that process until you've loaded up your candle jars. And I usually let these sit for about 30 minutes until they start to harden, just before they start to turn white. Okay, and then I come back and add my rosemary, my rose petals, or anything else that's going to be going inside. The pouring picture makes this so much easier, because otherwise trying to do this under the faucet itself, you might not gauge it properly, end up with a big mess, or possibly even scalding yourself. And you don't want to do that. All right, remember, it's just hot wax. I know some people use this as a fetish. I'm not one of them. All right, and once you do your pour, make sure you need to straighten out your wicks. All right, because once they set, that's it. And you want to make sure they set straight. So, okay. Nice. Hey, Max, how are you? What's up, buddy? You all right? Hey, baby. All right, so got a nice pour there. So again, we're gonna let these sit, all right, for about 30 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna be adding our rose petals to them. And we're gonna be adding our rosemary, all right? Pathway to healing. Pathway to healing. All right, we're gonna drop our rose petals in. Now you can cut them up a little smaller if you like. That's what I do. All right. Drop them along the sides there. It's up to you how many you want inside each one of yours. All right, what you want it to look like. Remember, this when this wax dries, it's gonna dry white, so you're gonna have these red roses inside, along with the specks of green rosemary. All right, so it should be real pretty. And again, you can switch out the flowers or the herbs that you add. It's up to you. Remember, you're making your candles so they can look and smell how you like. That's what I love about making the protection candles. All right. And then remember, we balanced and cleansed our energy in the house earlier today before we started this process. all right, to make sure that we would be making these with good energy and good intentions, because it's all about your intentions. All right, now if you'd like to do a little prayer over yours, all right, while mine are setting, I usually like to let a little 91 Psalms play over them while they're setting, so that they're infused, all right, with that prayer. You can do yours however you like, all right, but works for me, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And it saves money because I burn candles all the time. As a high priestess, I am under attack on a daily basis. All right? I am under attack from the time I wake up in the morning until the time that I go to sleep every evening. I am attacked while I am sleeping every evening. All right? So I have multiple protection rituals that I have just basically incorporated and made a part of my everyday life, because this is my new normal now that the cat is out of the bag. Before, I was kind of able to live incognito, and the protective rituals were a little different. But again, new levels. That's right, new devils. So when my level goes up, so does my level of protection, because as I said, I am attacked all day, every day, by everybody and their mamas. I'm attacked by the neighbors. I'm attacked by ex-co-workers. I'm attacked by ex-bosses. I'm attacked by crooked sheriff. I'm attacked by crooked politicians. I'm attacked by celebrities. Most of these people who are attacking me, I do not know them from a can of freaking paint. All right? They just know that I'm a high priestess with some very, 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 very valuable energy, and they want it, regardless to what it may do to me, my body, my family, my whatever. All right, so therefore I have to do things to protect myself, because again, these people don't care anything about me or mine. They just want what they want. So I've learned to do different things along the way to keep myself safe and to keep my sanity and to keep myself protected. And making my protection candles is one of those things. All right, so we're going to let these set. I usually let mine set and cure for about a week before I burn them. It's up to you. All right, but mine usually they really don't even take a week, actually. After a couple of days, they're good to go. I have burned them sometimes within hours of needing them if I run out of candles. But to get the best burn, so that they burn all the way down to the wick, and so that you're able to smell the scent and really enjoy the fragrance of it all, I like to let them set for a week before I burn them. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is let these set, and then I'll be coming back to cut the extra wick off and to put caps on so that they hold their fragrance, okay, until time for burning. So very easy process. When I first started making my candles, I was doing it the old-fashioned way, using the stove. I found it to be extremely messy. Not only that, but it was a lot of stirring, took a lot of time. This baby right here is the bomb.com. This is a Vivor. All right, I absolutely love this candle maker. You just plug it in, put your wax in. It has a spout on there with an on and off, and you're good to go. I absolutely love it. I am in love with it. It holds a lot of wax, so I'm able to make a lot of candles at one time, and it's nowhere near as messy as the stove process was. So if you are serious about your candle making, or even if you just are a beginner and you want to get started, again, the stove process is slow, it's messy. It is worth the investment to go ahead and get yourself the candle maker. This didn't cost very much at all. I think I spent about maybe 30 bucks on it, 35 at most. It wasn't expensive at all. I know I remember that. It was not expensive. All right. So, and you know me, I like to catch the Black Friday sales and all the holiday deals or whatever. So I believe I did that as well. Okay, so absolutely worth it, guys. Okay, absolutely worth it. So I will come back and do a short, a quick short to let you see what these look like on the finish end once they have set. All right, it's going to be a while before they set. Okay, it usually takes them a couple of hours to fully set. All right, so after a couple of hours, I'll be coming back to cut the wick off and put the caps on. Like I say, put them in a cool place. So I have a storage cabinet over there that I have set just for my candles, and I'll be putting them in there where they set until they're ready for burning. All right, so simple process, fun process, and a money saver. Okay, big money saver if you burn candles all the time. All right, I usually buy my wax in bulk, and I buy it from Amazon, and then I just store it in containers so that it's easy to store, so I don't have to worry about trying to store the big plastic bag, and use it as needed. Okay? All right.
Pathway to healing.
Thank you for joining me on the pathway to healing. Namaste. Love y'all.